Welcome to Spain. Hello, Tanya.
Hello, buenos dias. How's it going?
It's going very well actually.
Oh,
I'm
good.
kind of excited. Fall is approaching, like it is. We are in fall. It's not even approaching. It's here. It's shorts and sweater weather. I'm loving it.
Yes, not a lot of leaves turning on those palm trees, but
Not yet, no.
feels it feels like it. Or the
we
pine
do have
trees.
a we do have a lot of trees on our street that do shed their leaves. They haven't done it yet. They
Oh, really?
they
Okay.
shed in like December and they start growing back in like March. But
Mm,
that's yeah.
okay. Well, so you just need one or two, right, to make you feel, oh, that's so pretty. Just walk down that street every
Yeah,
day.
yeah. And then the wind comes and they blow on our balcony, and then I gotta sweep the
Ugh,
balcony. Ugh,
ugh,
it's hard.
it is.
So, do you have an Spain for us?
I do have an Spain. So we didn't have to, but we went to deal with life insurance and get life insurance. And we were sitting talking about the different options and everything. And the person was like, well, do you want the women's one? And I'm like, the what?
Okay.
Like the women's life insurance? And I was like, what's the women's life insurance? And I had never heard of such a thing. So, granted, I'm not going out and getting life insurance every week. So, things may have changed everywhere. But this is the
Okay. Yeah.
first I've heard of it, which is that they have a life insurance that if you get a feminine cancer, they pay
hmm
out a certain amount of money to you just for getting it. Hopefully, the idea is that you do survive and make it through and you still have your health insurance, and it doesn't change the health insurance. It's a payout for a female problem.
So to help you with your like living
Mm-hmm.
expenses, so you can live your
Yeah,
life because it's life
because
insurance.
it's life
It's
insurance while you're living,
while
right?
you're
And the
living, right?
idea is that it's giving you something without you dying. Hopefully, that's the goal, and
hmm
make that process, which is going to be horrendous, maybe a little easier because you're not financially strapped. Now, of course, here the cost of having the cancer treatments would also be free,
Right.
but still, that on top of that fact, I was just like, wow, I can't believe that is being thought of on top of the
Right.
fact that the insurance and you don't have all the insurance, and the insurance companies telling you that they're not going to cover things and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, just overall, just like, wow, that
Well, and
is
back in the
very
States
cool.
too, and why are you not back at work while you're getting your cancer
Right.
treatments? And right,
Well,
like
of
why are you
course.
not working? We
And
don't
your
have those.
cancer treatments, but probably half of them may not be covered by your
Right.
insurance, the really great insurance that you have, right? So
Exactly.
a lot of
I'm getting,
potential
I'm breaking
issues.
out in hives thinking
I
about all
know,
of
me
that.
too.
I will say, I'm not a woman, and
Oh,
but
gosh.
what I had found, I have life insurance because I have children as well, right? What I also noticed in this, which I had never been offered before, I had
Hmm.
life insurance in the States. When I got my life insurance, they said also if you get into a like debilitating type of accident, I get into a back accident, my legs are cut off, or fall
Hmm.
from something that's debilitating, the life insurance pays out while I'm living.
Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
was like, whoa. And he's like, and if your children are still minors when all of this happens, you get an extra payout. And I was like, this was never offered to me
I don't
before. This
remember
is
that type of thing. I remember catastrophic health insurance
right.
situations that you can purchase, but not related to life insurance as far as I remember either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my
That's
premium,
amazing.
not my the premium goes up every year. Like back in the States, I had the term life insurance, and your premium never changed, but your benefit never changed. So
Hmm.
if you died after like 19 years and your benefit was 200,000, well, 19 years ain't going to be worth anything compared to what it's worth today, right?
Right.
And here, my premium goes up a little bit each year, but my benefit goes up every year
As
as well.
well.
So maybe I pay an extra
Oh.
10 for an extra 1,500
Hmm.
of coverage or whatever. I don't remember how it works out, but it works out that so it's always growing
Right.
each way, right?
So it's
So
going to be
if
going up with inflation and all this kind of stuff theoretically, and it's going to mean
right.
something. Yeah. So we're both happier
I'm much
with
happier. I mean, I
that.
don't like talking about this stuff because I don't
No,
want it to ever come
me
true.
either.
And I still hate having to pay with my premium every year.
No, I don't want to pay for it, and I don't ever want to have to use it, but it's nice that there's some variety in there that's actually designed for like a better situation, I think, which I
Well, it
like.
doesn't feel like it's like, I will say this, with the insurance companies in the States, it just feels like everything's a money grab
Mm-hmm.
with no benefits. You have to have car insurance, but once you use it, you're not having car insurance anymore.
Right.
Like it feels like here, this is the life insurance and it's providing that
It's
it wants
providing
to provide the
something.
need.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we're feeling thankful for that, which brings us into our episode. We're going to talk about
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving in Spain, or Thanksgiving in general, and trying to manage it in Spain.
manage it, have it, do it, still have your thing,
Try
right?
have
Because
something. Yes,
have
exactly.
something. Because I don't know about you, but for me, Thanksgiving is one of my, it probably is, it's my most favorite holiday for cooking and
Mm-hmm.
celebrating with friends, right?
Yep.
Christmas is special, but that's a family thing, and Halloween is the thing. But Thanksgiving to me has always been kind of my holiday. And when I became adult, I had it was always like the wayward Thanksgiving for who couldn't go back to their homes. I was
Right.
living in New York, living in LA. So I've always loved the cooking of the meal and the meaning of the friendships and
Yeah.
people sharing their
Same.
own traditions.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I'm English originally, so it's not something that my family celebrates. So it's not something I ever had to go home for. And
Hmm.
when I moved to LA, I had a lot of friends that weren't going back to wherever they were from for it either. So it was always a Friendsgiving for us.
Hmm.
And I again, with you, I've always done it in a way when I lived in America where like I would always cook it, but people would always bring their recipe because everybody has a family recipe that I'm not going to try and touch, right? So it's
Hmm.
like I'm cooking all of this stuff, but you can come without anything. You don't have to bring something, but if you have a family recipe, bring it for everybody as well, so that
Right.
everyone's happy. Because it's kind of one of those days that if you've got a family thing, you want it on the table, right? There's just no way
Right.
around that.
Well, I like my broccoli casserole, so I have to make that every year. I
Hmm.
grew up eating that, so if ever I go to a Thanksgiving, I'm always bringing that
Yeah,
broccoli and cheese casserole,
it's
and
really
it is.
good.
Thank you.
It's worth
She's
it.
had it.
Yes, it's worth it. And I'm not going to try and make that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I might be
Right.
able to find a recipe for it, but even if I were to make it, it's not going to be yours.
Right. And the Thanksgiving, like, there are the kind of the core things that kind of everyone has: the turkey, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce, maybe the mashed potatoes. But then there's regional things. Like, I never grew up with green bean casserole, but that is
Hmm.
huge in other people's homes.
Right.
And so it's so nice when you do have like a potlucky type thing when
Hmm.
people, I have my stuffing, I can only make it one way. I can't make my stuffing here. So I'm not doing it. So I guess we should start in with what happens when you can't do what you want to do when you need to do for the holiday you have to celebrate because you love it.
Yes. Well, and I think part of that is who are you doing it for? Because back
Hmm.
when I was living in the States, I was the foreigner that didn't really have a history in Thanksgiving, cooking Thanksgiving for everybody. So for me, it was like, I'm just going to cook my British Christmas dinner because that's what it
Hmm.
is. It's the
Right.
stuffing and the chicken and the potatoes and the vegetables and all these things that have then being translated into having a turkey and then all these specialties like you said from different parts of America. So I would make something along those lines and I love cooking that. But here I have found, so I have sort of like a British stuffing that I like to make. That's our family stuffing recipe from our
Which you
English.
made last year, which was really good. So I'm not going to be mad at
No.
it.
Luckily for me, there are ingredients that I can buy here that I wasn't able so easily to buy in America for that one because it's a British
Ah.
stuffing, right? So that's sort of an interesting like thing that happened there. But also I've found since I've moved here, other than when you arrived and I would join your Thanksgiving, I was doing
Mhm.
Thanksgiving for our family and a bunch of Spanish people. So
Right.
it didn't really matter what I cooked because nobody knew what
Right.
they were
You're like
supposed to be
hot
getting.
dogs. Hot dogs are so traditional Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. And that's why I would say part of it, I would say what we all love about Thanksgiving, I think, is just everybody getting together. And I would say that the
Hmm.
Thanksgiving meal, the American Thanksgiving meal is about as close as you get to Spanish eating as you
Right.
can because it is a day when you all sit around and eat and hang out for the whole day, which is what we do every weekend here with Spanish people. But now we get to do it in
Right.
like an American way. And so
Right.
that's the only kind of thing. So it's like that part of it was easy to translate because everyone's doing
Hmm.
that here already. The food part was like, okay, we're just gonna have this really opulent like meal of full of things where you will not be able to actually leave the house. without rolling out.
Right. Right. And so I know there are people that will throw big parties. And I used to be, BC, before children,
Hmm.
I used to be the one that would be like, you can bring nothing but wine
Oh,
and I
okay.
will do everything, because I was like, a control freak that week, but
Hmm.
I loved cooking the whole meal. Then I had kids and I'm like,
Please,
start
everybody,
bringing your
bring stuff.
recipes. Yeah. I'll put the bird in the oven. I'll make the broccoli, and maybe I'll make one or two other things.
But I love what it's
So
done for you is it has fine-tuned the parts of the meal that you cannot live without for you to cook, right?
I would be making the stuffing if I could get the bread that I need to make the
Mm,
stuffing here. And since I can't get the bread that I need to make my stuffing, I
yeah,
just,
just
why even
why
bother?
bother?
Right?
Well,
Let someone else make it and I'll love their stuffing.
and bacon is a big part of my stuffing, and therefore, I mean, we're in Spain, so we're good.
And mine is like Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage has to go as mine. And we're
You
not getting that here. I
can't.
mean, you can fake it with ground pork, but it's
It's never going to be the
not
same
this.
flavors, right? It's never ever going to
No.
be the same.
No
Yeah.
matter how much you slice it and dice it, you're not gonna, because those are secret recipes that they have locked away in a safe somewhere.
This is true. So as far as finding things, I mean, we can start with the turkey, I guess.
Right. Have you gotten a bird yet? Have you went and bought a bird?
We would so I okay. When I first moved here, it wasn't something that was showing up in the grocery stores like
Right.
when Thanksgiving was coming around, because I would say we were at an American school, and even in that school we didn't have Thanksgiving off. And
Which is like
which is
crazy.
crazy. And
'Cause you're
every year I'd
like,
be petitioning, like, it's the only American holiday that lands in the school year. Why are we not off on
right.
Thursday? But we got 50 million Spanish holidays, but probably because of those.
Monday, Wednesday,
Right.
randomly throughout the
But
year. You can't
not
give us
that
one
Thursday.
Thursday.
Not that Thursday. So we would never even have that day off. So we would therefore
Hmm.
do Thanksgiving on Friday, because they gave us Friday off. So they kind of just
Oh, they gave you the Friday off, but not
but
the
not the
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
Yes. So we would do a Friendsgiving on that day. So it wasn't like turkeys were everywhere because no one's cooking it. So we
Right.
ended up very easily finding it through a butcher. Like, you can ask the butcher for anything, right?
Right. And if you go to like the Rusafa market or the Central market, those kinds of big central markets, I don't know what you really call them. I always
Yeah,
call them.
central markets. Yeah.
One of the butchers will have a turkey hanging year round. You have to find the one,
Mm-hmm.
but them you can order, and it's really not a big deal. You don't need to order it 6 weeks in advance. It is not a specialty item. They're just not cooking whole turkeys here. They are raising
They're
turkeys
growing
for breast
turkeys. I love
turkeys.
it.
I'm a real
You're a
farm
real
person.
farmer.
So they're not growing turkeys to cook whole. So it's all for breasts and legs
Yeah.
and deli slices.
Yeah, because
right?
you can
So
find lots and lots of turkey, in the sliced turkeys and things. They do like that.
right.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that was a shocker to me when I bought my first turkey here is when I went to the butcher and she's like, "Yeah, tomorrow, good." I'm like, "Tomorrow's fine." You're only getting one size bird here,
Yeah.
which is good to know. You're not going to get a 25-pound bird. They're all going to be around 5 to 7 kilograms, which is about 12 to 14 pounds in that kind of
Yes,
range.
that's accurate.
And you really can't have a bigger turkey here because none of the ovens are going to fit a bigger turkey. So you're stuck
Oh,
with the
speaking
small
of,
Spanish
speaking
ovens.
of putting them in the oven,
Tangent.
not really, kind of, but you can't just go to the grocery store and find the thing to put it in either.
Oh, like the disposable
Yeah, that doesn't
tinfoil
exist.
pan?
So you need to make sure you have the thing to fit a turkey. Because if all you have, which is what we did the first year, is things to fit chickens, that turkey's not stuffing
Right.
in that thing.
No. I did get a roasting pan when we first moved here from IKEA. That was one of our original IKEA deliveries.
Just don't do what I did, which is like, I got the
Yeah.
turkey. I'm so proud of myself. Oh, what am I going to cook it in?
And I was like, I'll butterfly it too, so it'll cook quicker.
Oh.
I'm like, I can't butterfly this. Even it won't fit
Right,
in my
no.
turkey. I mean, the turkey won't fit in my oven butterflied because it's going to be too
gonna be
big.
too
So
big.
we cooked it whole. But so you're not going to get a big turkey here, and you don't get two because you can't put two in an oven here. And but when they bring it out to you, be prepared. As you know, this it's looking at you.
It is.
They're bringing it
It
out
is
to
looking at you, the whole thing.
It's coming out you. It is. What do they? It has been defeathered. It's been plucked. Ish.
I was pulling a few feathers out too, because the crispy skin and all that stuff is kind of one of my favorite things, and that's all the
Yeah.
part that's seasoned and delicious. So I'm sitting there pulling out the little feathers too. It was looked like I had feathered it. Like that's what it looked like. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, we got a little bit of work to do here, right? I think that
Yeah.
probably, so when we went to get the turkey, it was like that, and then luckily I was.
Flippers on it still, and the eyes looking at you, and the
It
beak.
wasn't quite that bad, but I did look at it and then ask them to continue chopping pieces off, and they were kind enough, because they will do anything you want. So just look at it before they give it to you and make sure, and they will probably show it to you and make sure, okay, no, I want the neck off, I want this, like cut it down, right?
Right. Well, she asked me, do you want me to cut it down? Yes. And then she was like, well, what parts do you want to save? And I was like, well, I want the neck because that's for my gravy.
Right.
I need all those kinds of things. But you can keep the beak. I will say I have this fantasy that one day I'm going to be wealthy and I'm going to have a large oven, because you can buy large ovens here. They're not
They're
cheap.
just not standard in the kitchens.
No, not standard, and there's not a standard size. You get IKEA cabinets to fit it, but they do have wider ones, because I do have this dream of making a medieval painting Thanksgiving where I have the whole bird roasted with the neck wrapped around, and I want the whole thing with the.
Can we not do that part? I'd like to come to
It'll
this.
be a surprise.
But...
Okay, Tato got a new house. He's invited us for Thanksgiving. Is this the year?
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny. This is a tangent, because when we were moving all of our stuff, I had taken pictures of everything and sent it to the guy to give us an estimate. And then when I got the estimate back, it was like, it's an American fridge, because we have a big, extra big fridge with the 2 doors and everything, because
an American fridge, a
proper,
regular fridge,
really good American fridge. But it's funny that that's what they called it, to imply it's bigger and it's going to need more manpower to move this thing,
Right.
So an American oven is probably also what it's called.
Right. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so we had the birds, and it's crazy. I would like to try to cook the whole bird. Maybe I'll cut the feet off, but I would like to have
nobody
nobody
wants to see that either. Except you.
Other people do. Yeah, I do.
So
foodies, there's some foodies out there. And have it on a platter with all the roasted veggies. Oh come on.
Well,
so all right, we know how to get the turkey. Fine, let's change subjects.
Easy to get.
Let's talk. What goes with your turkey? Cranberry sauce.
That I have never found anywhere. Now, let's say we're gonna diverge here, probably the two of us, because I have not in the past. It hasn't. I mean, if it was really important, I'm sure I would go into the city to start browsing around and trying to find things in the shops there. But outside of the city, there is zero Thanksgiving, zero anything going on. So you're not finding anything related to this. And cranberry sauce, obviously, an absolute no. Cranberries, also never seen them.
Okay. So in the city, I have yet to see the fresh cranberries. But many people I have posted in these Facebook groups that say, yes, they have them Elcourt, at Thanksgiving time, and they've bought them. I rarely go to Elcourt to do my grocery shopping, and so I'm rarely over that way to go downstairs and look. But the couple times I have looked in that time of year, I didn't see them. Now, mind you, as we know how the grocery stores are arranged, it could have been with the paper towels. It doesn't mean it was with the other fruits and vegetables.
Because in all fairness, they're not going to know where to put it, because they don't use it, and it's for a holiday they don't know what it's for. So it really could be anywhere. And it also could be one of those things where they bring in like 5 of them and they're gone. So that's the other thing.
It could be.
And we do have some American stores where they have outrageously expensive things. And it is possible that you could find maybe a cranberry sauce in one of these.
That's where I got my cranberry sauce last year.
For 30 euros, like a can of jelly.
It wasn't that bad. It was like 5 euros.
Really?
So
That's
it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but usually in the States they used to be like 99 cents, right? So it is.
Yeah, a lot more.
It's a lot more, but it isn't 30. It's not like the boxes of cereal that are like 15 euros. And
we found goldfish, and I said, Zena, that one time in your life is what I'm buying these for you. Like, that's it.
Yeah, they had a Cheez-It box for
Oh
$8.
my
I was like, I think
God.
there's 4 Cheez-Its in it. Like,
Oh,
love those Cheez-Its. But they do have the cranberry. They do have the pumpkin pie filled,
oh
like
okay.
the pumpkin puree. And I think I paid €3 a can
Because
for that. So
because
it
I
wasn't
did
crazy.
try one year to make a pumpkin pie sort of from scratch, like
With like a
with
real
real pumpkin.
pumpkin.
It did not. I mean, there is something about the pumpkin pie that needs to be a little processed, I think, for it to really be a proper pumpkin pie.
Well, to do it with fresh pumpkin, it requires a cheesecloth
Yeah.
and a lot of like removing
Yes.
liquid. It's not as easy. Yeah, the canned
It
puree
really does. It
makes
did
a
not turn
happy
out so
cook.
well, and I do think that those, for me personally, I'm the person that wants the cranberry sauce out of the can with the lines on it. I want the jelly.
You want the like it's
Yes,
pre-lined of where you
not
slice.
where it's sliced.
Yes.
It comes out with the lines of the tin.
Yeah, where you
Yeah,
can slice. Like
yes,
those
I
lines
love
let
it.
you know this is where you
I
slice.
love this. But on the flip side, I would always make a fresh cranberry sauce with some orange and stuff in it. And that was also really
Hmm.
good. So I do actually miss making a cranberry sauce, I have to say.
I do too, because I would do it with the oranges and the
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon and the maple
So
syrup,
good.
and of course, maple syrup's hard to find here without, and
Yeah.
you have to give up a lung
But you can
to
make it with
afford it.
honey, and it's
But
also really good because you get some really good,
yeah,
really deliciously flavored honeys here. So I would do it like that and be probably okay with it. But the cranberry sauce is something for me that has been very hard to find.
but I also say there is a special love for the stuff in the can because it is a flavor that brings back
Right?
your whole life as an American. Because that's what
I love
everyone,
it.
no one was really doing their fresh cranberry sauce. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
that. But that also
So,
reminds me, so in England we do a lot of red currant jelly with meats. So that
mm,
reminds me of the red currant jelly when I do the cranberry jelly out of the can, because it's very similar to the red currant jelly that we have with our Sunday roast.
now I will say I have been like to the Massy Mass up in
Hmm.
Pusol, which as we before caters more to an international clientele. So for like me, I use cream of celery soup in my stuffing. I haven't seen cream of celery here, but they have
I
cream
was
of
going to say I've seen
mushroom
cream of
there. They
mushroom there, and I that's something that I believe is used in a lot of these casseroles. So maybe not
hmm
yours, but a lot of the other casseroles that I've seen.
the green bean casserole.
I
I
think
think they
so,
use
yeah.
the cream of mushroom
And
soup. Yeah.
also I had to bring back, like, there was a recipe for, and I can't remember what it is. There's an item at the Cracker Barrel. Did you have Cracker Barrel? I don't think that's an East Coast thing, I believe.
No, no, that's more
Yeah.
East Midwest. You mean Cracker
The
Barrel, the
restaurant,
restaurant
the
that's
like
been all
the
the news
yeah,
lately?
the
The logo
yes. Oh my
change?
God, that was
Yes.
so funny. Yes, they tried and failed, so I went back. But that's like your
Right.
road trip restaurant, and they have some kind of casserole, and the recipe for that requires, I think, the mushroom thing. So if you have a really, I think, American casserole of some sort, the mushroom soup is quite handy. I think you can't replicate that flavor. I don't think.
No, you can't. And I haven't, and you can't replicate the cream of celery. And I also haven't looked because I can't find my bread here, so I haven't even
Um.
worried about my stuffing. I think if price is no object, there is also
Mm-hmm.
Amazon. If you're like, I have to have it, but look at it might not be as expensive, but then look at the shipping because it
It
might be
might
coming
actually
from
be
the
coming from
States
the
at 40
States.
bucks in
Yeah,
shipping. Yeah.
that is very
So
true. Yeah.
what I have also heard, if you're lucky enough to have friends that are in the military and have access to
Mm-hmm.
bases, you might be able to bring home a lot of stuff. I don't have any military friends here
Well,
in
also the
Spain
base
that
is
have access
far.
to. Oh,
It's
is
oh
it
yeah,
far from here?
it's
Yeah,
over
yeah.
in Rota, which is over by like Cadiz, like all the way on the other side near Portugal.
That's the
Hmm.
closest one. There isn't one
No,
closer here.
we have a NATO
Oh,
base here, but that's just inside of some Americans inside of a
that's
Spanish
just
base. Then they don't have. I don't think they have an
right.
American shop there, as far as I know.
Hmm.
Yeah, see,
Okay. Well,
have to
now I know.
drive. So Amazon would be cheaper than driving all the way there and back, I think.
It would, it would, it would. But for the most part, all the they have sweet potatoes here. They have heavy cream here. They have
Hmm.
butter. They have sugar. So you can do the whole
Yeah.
most of the whole meal for
Yeah, and I
sure.
actually was in the
I
bakery
think.
this morning. They have a thing in the fall now where they have cut a pumpkin in half, like horizontally, and roasted that, and it looks
Hmm.
really good. I don't know, maybe that's a sweet thing, but it looked really really good. So,
In the city,
hmm
that's every day of the year. Those are
have you tried
always
them?
in the
Because they look
bakery.
delicious.
And well, when I first moved here, like, oh, if you can't find the pumpkin, they've already cooked it, and for the pumpkin pie, they've already cooked it. They're
Right.
everything you need to do, and it's pretty dried out because it's
Mm-hmm.
roasted. And I haven't bought them, but I think Spaniards are just buying it for a quick and easy
Yeah.
dinner. They slice it up and serve it with whatever else they're cooking for dinner. I've never bought one from there
Yeah.
actually, and it's weird. I love pumpkin, but I also just throw one in the oven if I
Yeah,
want to eat
me
it.
too.
But I should try that one day. No, you know what? Maybe after we're recording, maybe I'll stop by the
See.
bakery. And
I was also like
see,
curious if
yeah.
I could, everything that they have in the bakery you can usually buy as a slice, and this one had not been sliced up
Mhm.
yet, so I was kind of looking at it like, do you think I can buy a slice, or is she going to expect me to buy the whole thing? So I wasn't really sure yet, so I don't know. It looks so pretty whole that it seems like that's something you should bring to the table.
Right.
And I'm thinking everything else,
Mm,
like gravy is I have no problem making gravy here. That's like super
That's
easy.
easy, yeah.
Mashed potatoes, obviously.
You know what I just saw
Right.
about, speaking of gravy, at the Mossy Mouse up in Pusol.
Gravy granules?
Yes, I have never even heard of that.
That's a British
ever.
thing. It's so the Bisto.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Bisto. Yeah, so if you need the Bisto gravy,
Yeah, it was Bisto. They had
oh my
all the
god, yeah.
flavors.
And they have the OXO cubes. I mean, and they have Marmite, all the things that you need to make a really good gravy. Yeah, no, trust me.
She said Marmite, and my face just scowled.
I
people.
am
You
gonna
didn't
bring
see
a
it,
gravy
but-
to your Thanksgiving that has Marmite in it, and you're gonna be like, that tastes so. You're not gonna taste the Marmite. It's just another level of flavor.
We're gonna have a gravy taste off.
Yep.
I make mine with vermouth and all these other things.
They're going to be
so
very
we're gonna have to have
different. Mine has red wine
Yeah.
and gravy, and it usually would have a little bit of red currant jelly, which obviously I can't find. But, anyway, so mine has a few things I can't
mine's
find.
lots of herbs and fats, and it's the white vermouth that I add to mine to give it the kick. And
so my mom is one of those people that has like
now I'm hungry. Can we
my
make
mom
some
has
food
like a
and come
gravy that
back?
stays in the fridge and it just gets added to, and then you eat, and then when there's chicken in the oven, some of that gets added to it. So it's this like ongoing like
the drippings.
The drippings, but then then you got to
gravy.
cook it up sometimes with a little extra, red wine and things in it, and then it goes back in the fridge, and it just continues to be delicious. So it's so good. I do love a good gravy. Yeah,
I do
that's
too.
easy. So that's easy to make here. The chestnuts, which is one of the things that goes in my stuffing, is you can buy them here, but you have to, like in America, you have to cook them and shell them and do all the work yourself. So it's doable, but it's a big bit of a pain.
But you asked me to find them for you at the store, remember? And I said we do. So if you need them now, ask now, and I will look at the store to see if they have the packages.
I don't feel like doing it.
Actually, when we get off, Paloma and I need to run to the store again because we forgot to get something at the store. I don't know about you. We often forget everything that we need to get when we're at the store. And even with our list, somehow we get
Jawad is so good at shopping. And then he says, can you go buy one thing? And I go, and then he's like, did you buy that one thing? I'm like, oh, I forgot that thing, but I have all this.
I bought socks, though. Because you went to Lidl and they had socks.
I'm no longer allowed
to.
Yeah, I'm no longer allowed to shop. I'm useless. But yes, please do look for the peeled chestnuts.
The peeled chestnuts. I will look for those. And for me, I like to put water chestnuts in my stuffing, and I found those at the Asian market. And so I was like, stock those up. Now, mind you, this was before I found out I couldn't get my bread, so I've had water chestnuts in my cabinet now for a while.
And then you forget you have them, and then you're like, I don't have them. And then after Thanksgiving, you find it, and you're like, oh, really?
If anyone knows, I'm looking for a sourdough and a rye pumpernickel bread. Those are the two breads that I need for my stuffing,
doable,
and I have yet to find.
Yeah.
Sourdough you can find, but the rye pumpernickel I have
that
with
would be
that caraway flavor have not found. On that note, because now we've discussed we are foreigners in a foreign land, how do you celebrate it? So potlucks is what we do, as we've discussed. It's not so much of a family thing, right? We don't have all of our families living here, so to make it a family, it's a Friendsgiving.
Mine's always been a Friendsgiving. I don't think I've ever actually gone to someone else's Thanksgiving, like family Thanksgiving, because I've always just been with friends. And again, it's not a family oriented sort of holiday for me. So here is not that different. Right. I mean, I just like, who's around, who wants to come, who wants to eat too much, and because I want to cook that meal, right? So for me, it's just like, I just want to cook that day, and then I want everyone just to sit around and eat all day. So I don't care who's there.
Happy and eating and sharing.
So long as they're good company.
Right. And this year I'm hosting the potluck, and as you know. And this year I think is going to be our most international one. We have Russians, we have Serbians, we have Spanish, we have Venezuelans. We have non-Americans who were American, which I'm including you in,
Okay.
Jawad. You know, is the pseudo-Americans. I think we have one other like born and
Oh,
raised
okay.
American family
So
coming
just
for the
you and them.
Thanksgiving,
That's
but
it.
just us and them basically. But I love like the some of the families that I know. They're like, "Are you doing Thanksgiving? I've always wanted to try
Oh,
it."
that's
So like they
nice.
like, if you're listening, I'm not insulting you, but they kind of invited themselves. They're like, and I was like, "Oh, then I definitely have to
Yes.
do it. Yes, of course we'll do it." But I'm my Spanish friend. She was like, like she was so cute. She's like, "I've always wanted to try." To see what
Yeah.
it's like. I'm like, then you're coming. But it's so interesting to see like the holiday is well known.
It is a well-known holiday, yes, and obviously it's in all the movies. Everyone has an idea of what the food's like. I haven't done a potluck myself with people here because because I feel like it's my responsibility, even though even though I'm not like a proper American, like pseudo American as you called me, I
Mhm.
still feel like I'm the one that needs to bring that to the table and show people what it is and do all the classics. So I feel like it's my responsibility
Mhm.
to cook, but I think it'll be interesting with your potluck what people bring when they're like, bring a
Right.
dish. Are they going to go online and try and find an American dish that they don't know? Are they going to bring something Spanish? Are we going to have croquetas next?
Right.
Like who cares? But it's going to be great.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see because we have if someone wants to bring patatas
Hmm.
panaderas instead of mashed
Me
potatoes,
too.
I'm all
Yeah,
for that. It's so I mean a potato is a potato, however you're gonna cook it.
there
So
are good potatoes and not so good potatoes, but they're all pretty good.
right, and we'll see who's gonna bring the desserts, and so I'm interested to see what other
But do you
people are
need like
bringing.
an apple pie or a pumpkin pie? Like, do you feel like it has to be?
I do, so I'll be honest, pumpkin pie is not one of my favorite things. It's my
Mhm.
least favorite Thanksgiving thing. I used to make, and I still do make, but I'm not going to make it this year. Is I make a pumpkin cheesecake, which is
Yeah.
taken over in our house for the pumpkin pie. I much rather have a pecan pie for Thanksgiving.
My
So like,
favorite is the pecan pie. I don't know if that's even possible to recreate here because I don't even know what's. I
they have
think it might
pecans
have like
here.
molasses and things in it. The maybe that might be hard.
Oh,
The
the
sugar because
sugar
it's
stuff. I
very
mean, I think
sugar.
I've only made it with it's very sugar. I think I've only made it with brown sugars and I can't remember now, but
Okay, you know
I haven't
what?
made it in a long
If it
time.
exists and if I find a recipe that I can duplicate, I will bring that with my stuffing.
Okay, we might have a dinner where it's
And
just all
we
desserts
might.
because
Who knows
everyone's
what's
scared.
coming?
Everyone's scared to bring
That's the problem with
American
the
things.
potluck. You don't know what you're gonna end up with. So
I'm doing something obnoxious this year, and I am setting up a WhatsApp group for everyone who's invited, so they can discuss what they're bringing, so we can police each other and be like, "We're a little dessert heavy, or
okay,
do we need
yeah.
5 different potatoes?"
The
Right?
answer to that is yes. There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with 5 different kinds of potatoes. But yeah, I think the potluck thing will be very interesting from an international point of view. And I don't think it. I think one of the greatest things about Thanksgiving. I think one of the things that maybe you and I share that we like about it is just the fact that you're with your friends and you're having like a really nice, relaxing meal. And if it's not all a classic, Thanksgiving meal that everybody had growing up, I don't know that that really matters.
And can I just um go back to what you had said earlier, which I do love, and makes me very happy about the
Hmm.
potluck here in Spain, is my idea of Thanksgiving, as you said, it's an all day thing. If I invite you over at 3, doesn't mean we're eating at 3. Dinner might be at 7. I want everyone there at 3 because that's the time I've taken my shower. I'm still cooking, but I am now
You want to present
presentable,
while you're
right?
still
Whatever
clean.
time, right. But I want it to be like an all day thing where it's not rushed. And I will say, like, when I lived in Los Angeles, there would be a lot of people, I'm not going to name names because they know who they are, would stop by and they would be like, I went to
Right.
5 different Thanksgivings. And
That's
to
rude.
me, it was just, I'm telling them now,
Yeah.
I'm offended. I was really offended then, and I never mentioned anything because it's the way thing is. But now that I'm here, where people are like, no, we're planning to be
Yeah.
there all day and all night, and where you're like, it's 3. Can
Yeah.
we all eat? It's 3
I
a.m.
will give somebody like allowances if they have to go to their family and then they're going to come to a Friendsgiving. But that's why we usually do the Friendsgiving
Mhm.
on Friday, not on Thursday, because everyone can do the family on Thursday and then the Friendsgiving is on a
Right.
Friday or a Saturday or something. So that usually takes care of that
Hmm.
business. But I agree with you. Like that, this isn't the type of, but that's very American to be like, I've got 5 minutes to eat your
Right.
food and then I'm leaving. Like that's very like
Right.
that's very the unrelaxed way of doing a meal, right?
And it's the all day. Like, I don't know. I thought you said we are gonna eat at 7. No, I said I said get here at 3. I'm aiming for 7ish. We ate at
Yeah.
5, sorry, or we're eating at 9. It's gonna happen when it happens because we all, no matter where you live, you
Yeah.
have one oven. So
But
you're
that's where I
just
said at the very beginning that the concept of the Thanksgiving meal, of it being an all day event, just slides right into Spain, like no problem,
it's
right?
perfect. I literally get to have the Thanksgiving I've
Yeah.
always wanted,
I will
right?
say
Which is
regarding
that
the
we just hang
potluck
out.
thing, that is not a common thing in Spain. And I've had to explain that situation to people
Right.
if I want to do something potluck. And then I start feeling like, oh my God, they must think that I'm like really stingy, that I'm not going to be organizing all the food. But this is actually like a thing that people do to get
Right.
everybody involved and have a bit of taste of the different things that people do. It's not because you're trying to be stingy or it's maybe you don't have the time, but that is something that I have had to explain the concept of that on occasions if I want to
Right.
do something like that.
We're all sharing from our heart.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it comes across that way. It feels stingy, I think. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody brings some food. Why aren't you just taking care of all the food, right? It feels odd.
Because
Yeah,
I've got the
I
plates.
got the
That's why.
plates and the location
And the house.
and the main part of the meal, and everybody brings something. But now all my friends that I had, now they're all like, "Oh, this is great." Everyone brings one thing. You have loads. It's great.
They figured it
It's
out.
kind of like the birthday thing. You have to customize to giving money instead of a gift, right? For birthday presents
Right.
for kids and stuff.
Right.
And it's like once you realize how it works, you're like, "Oh, this is genius. This works."
And also, people who have just moved here and may not know enough people or don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
bothered with people, you can go to. I mean, there are restaurants that do
Yeah.
Thanksgiving brunches. They may not do it on the actual Thursday. They may do it on the Saturday and Sunday but there might be places that are doing, especially like in Madrid.
Yeah,
and
I would say they're
Barcelona,
probably not plenty here, but you might find one, or you might
Mhm.
have found yourself on a WhatsApp group where someone's happy to invite you, or, but definitely further south, I would think where there's a lot of British people, you might definitely find some, like a British pub that does an English like roast dinner, Sunday dinner that would
Sunday
be very
roast.
close and
Yeah.
make you feel pseudo as if you're having a Thanksgiving meal, so you could definitely cobble it
Right.
together, I think, in various places, I would imagine. So speaking of like the traditional things and all of that, I mean, I just want to touch on one thing that I do love that I haven't really got to experience in the same way here is the Thanksgiving parade. So I've never been to it, but I do love watching it. And you can obviously watch it now on YouTube later and all this type of thing the next day. But of course, then you don't get the excitement of, is something going to happen to one of those balloons? Because you'll know about it if something happened to one of those balloons. So that is gone. And the football, I have no idea. You can probably watch it if you have a VPN or something. I have no idea how that works because I don't watch football.
Yeah, but the times are different, right? So back in the States, the parade's on early in the morning. It's kind of
Right.
like wake up for the parade as
As
you're gathering your
cooking,
ingredients
yeah.
and you're having your coffee and yeah. So here it's coming on later in the day. It's a 6-hour delay, so it's in the late afternoon. But by that time, I'm so knee deep in everything else, I'm not putting it on. And yeah, sports means nothing to me. Never
Yeah.
meant anything. But yeah, I think if the games are on late, I mean, I think even like when the World Series happened, they're like, I have to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, granted, I don't think Thanksgiving
Yeah,
games
I
are
don't know.
that late in
I
the
would
day in the
imagine they're like
States,
in the
but
afternoon
still,
at some point, right?
we sound like
I
the
don't
worst.
know.
We're like the worst people to
Let's
explain
just say
sports
we
to
don't
anyone.
know.
So
If you want to
anyway,
watch it, I'm sure you can at whatever time of day it comes on because we're not on the moon.
Yeah.
We are on Earth, but you will have to figure out for yourself how that blends into your day timing wise.
But it won't be part of your tradition in the whole culture because no one's going to be
Right.
talking about the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Tomorrow.
Although there are again probably pubs and bars that show. I've seen posts of people like, where's American football shown? And people have said certain places. So I do think there are places that maybe do show these things, like, especially again, more in big cities, there's probably more of them. But you guys will have to find that out for yourself. We do not have that information.
Nor am I going to find it.
Not
That's not
no.
in my lifetime. That's not
That's
not
not
this
this journey. No,
that
me either.
Now, the other thing that I think is funny here that is a thing is,
Okay.
but it's not a thing, but they say it's a thing, which is you will see the signs everywhere that say Black Friday, but it's not a Friday. It's just a season of another sale.
Like it's
another
a lot
Rebejas
online
type
as
thing,
well,
right?
and not so much in store. But I don't know. Again, not in the city, not walking around. That I do see ads for Black Friday, and I don't even, like you said, I think they're just happening sometime around now-ish.
Yeah, because there's no date. It's not like Black Friday is November 28th. It's we're in our Black
But
Friday sale. You're like,
when?
but it's, I don't,
Right.
that's,
And
it's
to
supposed
that
to be
and
one
to
day.
that point,
One
you're not
day.
going to be lining up outside a store, getting killed, trying to get into a storefront,
Right.
and all this madness is not happening, I would imagine.
Right. I haven't seen
No.
throwing old ladies down for
No.
a Cabbage Patch doll here. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
So, but you can still celebrate. You
Mhm.
can have all the traditions. Unfortunately, your kids won't have the entire week
That
off
is a
from
thing.
school.
Yes, even in the
and all
American
of that.
schools, you're not going to have that time off.
But the bonus,
Mhm.
if I may just say, there are no lines at the grocery store,
Oh, right,
parking lot, or
yeah.
checkout lanes. You want your turkey? You got it. You want your
Yeah,
can of what
that's
you
very
need?
true. And I
You
will
don't
say
have to
my
wait
enjoyment for
it.
Thanksgiving over here has greatly increased by having people like you that also understand it, even if you have a lot of other people that are experiencing it for the first time or just kind of getting involved. Having more friends that understand it and really have that history with it to celebrate it with does actually
Mhm.
help, because otherwise I'm cooking this crazy meal for a whole
Yes.
bunch of people that, and they're just happy to get a meal, but it doesn't have any like emotional connection for them, and that is different, right? It's not nothing wrong with
Right.
that either. It's just different.
But it's like if you were to be
Yeah.
living somewhere else, like, or people invite me
Yeah.
to a traditional dinner for
Mhm.
their religion or their country they're from. You're like, I'm
Right.
just here to
Yeah.
enjoy. I don't.
So that
I
has
don't have a
been
tie.
that has been really nice. But yeah, but otherwise I think very, very possible to create a really nice Thanksgiving day here in whatever capacity one usually does it, from my experience. So I'm looking forward to it. It is one of my favorite holidays. I love all the holidays. I say that for every holiday. Everyone will notice. Every holiday that's coming up, I'll be like, this is my favorite holiday. I just love them all.
I think she likes
I
holidays.
do.
So I think that's it. I think also we should let our listeners know we're doing another theme week this week. Where it's
Yes.
all Thanksgiving. So our Poco Opoco coming up might have
It
something to
might.
do with Thanksgiving. We're not going to tell
No.
you. Tune in on
That's a
Thursday.
tease. Stay tuned.
Okay, Tanya.
Ciao.
Hey, can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Ospain Podcast.
And on our website, ourspain.com, which we will be updating with exciting new things as we grow.
We would love for you to message us with any topics you would like to hear about.
See you next time.
Bye.